All right, guys. So this is about to be my third take recording this little. First, I did a live session. Second, I did another live session, and now this is about to be my third attempt. I'm doing a. Basically, I'm just doing a trade recap. Honestly, today was a very horrendous day. Won't lie to you. Today was a very horrendous day. Let's go over basically what I was looking at. So first things first. This was the main draw. Was my main draw going into today. I was bearish. I can pull up the recordings. All right, so if we go right here, you can see doing my breath work, but um, all right, and then look, I was looking to target. So we had a 4 hour for leg up we were in, and then which is like that little small little for leg up right here, and we were using that as a confluence to say if the market wants to bounce off of this, we will. But if not, we will make it inversion. We would make it an inversion because again, we're inside of the daily CB. We have a daily candle range high sweep. We have a 4 hour candle range high sweep. The market looks bearish. You know, we want to reach into lower prices. You can see here we had the 1 hour buy side imbalance also get melted through. From a 30-minute perspective, again, we didn't really have much. But then once we start scaling into the 15, that's where everything starts to align perfectly. The 15-minute time frame, we had this BPR form, and the market clearly did not want to respect the buy side imbalance, made it inverse, formed the BPR, retraced up into it at market open, and then the market started to dump. You know, this nice key low met, and that was just at market open. At market open, the market formed that inversion, broke below this, and this is like where everything started to go wrong. This is where everything started to go to shit. I won't lie to you, because again, I missed this. I missed this move right here. I got emotional. I won't lie. I got emotional market open, but again, I don't like trading market open. I prefer 15 to 30 minutes after market open. Sometimes a little bit before that, you know, but I like waiting for the 15-minute candle to form. And once we start to, you know, see the strong displacement lower, that's kind of where I got cooked. So again, this was a key draw on liquidity. The 1 hour for I'm not really, but it was a strong confluence here at first. And then it got melted through, boom, pushed down lower. The 4 hour for I've never held, and then that 15-minute sell side drawn liquidity was key. Then we had a 1 hour, you know, BPR down there, and then we had the 4 hour objective and a 4 hour for gap. So in the back of my mind, I was thinking like going into today, we were melting. And then once I saw this, I was like, all right, we're probably gonna meet the drawn liquidity. We can probably retrace into like a 5-minute for gap here, something like this, and then push down lower. Past that, and continue to the downside, probably reach for the 1 hour BPR. If not, we're probably going to reverse. Form a change in the state, continue up higher, go break even above these highs, and then target these highs again. But if we are going to be bearish and continue to be bearish, we'll probably will form a small retracement and then an inversion and continue down lower and make this 4 hour for early up inverse. And guess what? That never happened. The market continues to melt. And then eventually, once I'm seeing these hold these nice little, not immediate rebalances, but institutional order flow entry drills come into play, I'm like, whoa. The market is so bearish. And then eventually I take this trade right here. So once we see this right here form, market retraces, I take this trade right here. I take that trade. I'm targeting this right here. I have around like a 100-point stop, like a little bit above here. Actually, like a 150. I won't lie. We had a lot of breathing room for this area for this trade. So I had a 150. Guess what? Go break even. I'm afraid. That the market is gonna just like I'm gonna be bottom ticking and the market is gonna push up higher. And then eventually we have a 3-minute PDRA form, a fair value up here, and then eventually I'm like, okay, this looks nice. On the 2-minute, just waiting, and then I'm also waiting for the market to give me some form of acceptance lower. And then once I see this candle start to close bearish, I enter. Stops again. They were above here. And then again, I'm targeting this low. But then I go break even. Once we reach up into this 5-minute PDRA, which is the SIBI. And then boom, that trade is cut short right then and there. So these were my 2 trades going into today. Very, very unfortunate. The market just continued to melt, continued to target lower prices. It didn't give me anything I needed to see to take shorts. And then eventually now we're balancing out. And this is kind of what I was talking about in my also the live recording. I was like, hey, if we don't push up and then start to melt down again, before a certain period, we're probably going to chop around. Probably going to balance ourselves out, form a new range, and just, you know, chop around, balance the market out, and then we're probably going to either go for value area low, push up higher, or we're going to just break above value area high and retest and continue higher. If not, vice versa. We're just going to break below and continue lower. But that was pretty much really it. I won't lie. Very, very unfortunate. As you can see here, you can see that there, both trades, this one right here, and then this one down here, on all my accounts, basically. Except for these got locked out before that, and yeah, this one got locked out. One trade. This one I did take another silly trade. I won't lie to you. I took another trade. I entered, went break even. I was like, all right, this has no logic behind it. After I got break even, I entered again, lower size, went break even again. Because again, I realized right then and there I was emotional. I walked away for a little bit. Then I came back and I realized, you know, I was emotional. The market, you know, didn't form my system, didn't give me the confluences I needed to see to take the trade. Even for that first trade, it didn't really give me anything that I needed to see to take that would be classified a high probability setup. Everything that I took during that, you know, session right there was low probability, in my honest opinion. The best trade again would have been after this inversion, but I don't trade 930. I don't trade 930. So the next best option would have been just to walk away, in my honest opinion, because I haven't went through my hindsight trade. I haven't went through like where I revise and I go through the whole trading day and be like, hey, this is where the best setup formed. I haven't done that. I will later. But right now I'm realizing that the best thing I could have done was walk away once my draw on liquidity right here was met. And then after that, once we, you know, we're down here already, I should have just walked away, because I thought, you know, this is the part where everybody makes the mistake, where you think the market is going to continue going down lower. You think it's going to meet that sell set objective, and then you have SMT at those lows, and then you start to reverse. That's where everything starts to go wrong. I promise you, bro. It's not worth it. It's not worth trading like this, where you're trading based off of emotion. You're trading without a system, without a model, and you're just simply gambling. That's what it is. You have no data behind this. I am not a continuation type of trader. Even though I would have loved to see a continuation move where we just retest and then push down lower, that is a trade I'm willing to take. You know, that's a trade I'm willing to take if we form a form of inversion after retracing, maybe like into the low right then and there, and we form it and then we target lower prices. That's a trade I'm willing to take, bro. That is a trade I'm willing to take 9 times out of 10. So yeah, and that is following my model. That is following my model, because again, we're having something support the inversion. Everything I was taking today with the sell side imbalances, all this and that, there was nothing really supporting the movement lower. If I'm being truly honest, there was nothing supporting it. Everything just started to melt. All this was supported though, because again, we're inside of the premium. We're inside of the range where we're hitting the PD arrays. We're pushing down lower. These PD arrays here that are forming the SIBIs unfilled, those are supported by this right here. If the market wants to push up and break above it, then guess what? We're probably going to break above the, you know, higher time frame PD arrays and not show any support and make it an inversion. But again, all this right here is supported by nothing, and the market just continued to push down lower. And for me, when, you know, PD arrays are not supported by anything, or the entry models really, I should say, are not supported by anything, I don't take them. Even though the market is melting, even though it's algorithmic X, Y, and Z, I just don't feel confident in taking them. I don't feel confident in taking this inside of a discount. You know, this, like if you measure the range, this is inside of a discount. Or if you measure like the, you know, the current range whenever you were trading it, this is all the way in a discount. This is inside of a deep discount. If you measure this is near equilibrium, maybe the market retraces, stops you out. You know, like I just don't like it. That's just my personal preference. Of course, I still have to collect data, so I have to learn. I did journal already. And now I'm just gonna walk away and do my hindsight trade and just see what I could have done better. Honestly, again, thinking from that mindset, you're shifting your identity. You're thinking about the mindset of like, hey, if you're put yourself in a position where you are a millionaire, you know, like you're not a million, you are a millionaire actually. You're a millionaire, you know, you've passed multiple funded accounts, you've gotten multiple payouts. The money really doesn't mean anything to you anymore. What setups are you going to be taking? Are you going to be following your system? Are you going to be following your model? What type of trader are you? You know, like you start visualizing that, you start thinking about it. And when I start visualizing it, like, hey, I'm $1 million, I have 1 million in funding. You know, what type of trader am I? I follow my system. I'm patient. I'm waiting. I'm not trading every day. I'm not trading every setup I see. I'm waiting for the highest confluences. I'm always journaling. I'm always collecting data. Always trying to improve my edge. I'm always trying to have self control, review, and like just let God handle the rest. I'm thinking about my internal. How am I feeling? What am I thinking? Did I follow my morning routine? Did I follow my night routine? Certain things like that. That's where those thoughts come in, and just visualizing it. Like just visualizing myself winning trades, visualizing myself the feeling of following my rules. That's so important. Visualize that. Visualize the process instead of just visualizing the outcome and the success. Of course, that's nice. You can visualize that, but the main key thing you want to visualize is the process of which you are growing every single day. Every day, every day, every day. You're visualizing yourself following your rules. What it feels like to follow your rules and to win. What it feels like to follow your rules and to sit still and not take anything. That is still a win. And today I didn't do that. So I'm gonna have to work on that and review and analyze and just sit on my hands and be able to just sit still and visualize that. That's what I need to visualize. Instead of me visualizing me winning, I have to visualize me not taking any form of setups and just waiting and waiting and waiting. That is still a win to me. So that's pretty much really it. Again, shifting your identity, guys, taking care of your health, spending time with your loved ones, do the things that matter in life. So that's pretty much really it. I will catch you guys tomorrow.